It's February, which means we can start wearing tank tops, right? Ooh, honey, I am putting concealer on this pimple. Girl, you ain't gonna stay. Didn't fix anything. Oh well. Hi everyone, today I'm gonna do a review on the book Paper or Plastic by Vivi Barnes. I was sent this book by Entangled Teen, so thank you very much. This book takes place during the summertime about a girl named Alexis. Alexis is at a store with her friend and decides on a whim that she wants to try and shoplift a tube of lipstick. She gets caught, and instead of having that go on her record, the store manager offered to have her work at the store for that summer to kind of learn some discipline. So her mom forces her to do it, and so she has to work at this store that's basically equivalent to a Walmart. She's kind of upset because she plays softball and she has a lot of activities over that going on over the summer, so she's upset over missing that. The story just follows her summer and the adventures that she and her pretty cute boss slash manager go on. Really quick, just gonna get this out there. I opened this and immediately was like, because the cover I think isn't that good. I mean, I love Entangled books because they're all so soft, like yes Gaga. But I think this kind of looks a little bit corny, especially on the back with like all the shopping bags, and this font is just not doing it. So I went into this with such low expectations. I was like, hopefully I can just finish this because it's only about 300 pages and I just wanted to get through it really quickly. I read this in a day and I really liked it. I gave this book 4 stars. It's not extraordinary, but it was such a good, lighthearted, fun, summery read, and that's what I would recommend you pick it up for. I think the main reason I really liked it is because it's so different from anything I've ever read before. I've never had a job, so I have never been in that environment, and so it's something I've never read before. I realized as I was reading this that all the books where people have jobs, it's always like, I work in this independent bookstore and I never do anything, and like no book has ever centered on being at a job, so I thought that was really cool for you to be in that setting and you get to see her dealing with customers and all the things she has to deal with throughout her day as she works somewhere. I just thought that was so cool, and I'm sure that if you work in retail or at a grocery store or anything like that, you would get a really good kick out of this book, so I would definitely recommend it to anyone that wants to this. Another thing I really like about this book is that it's so realistic. A lot of times in these contemporaries that are just light and fluffy, they get a little bit annoying because they'll get corny or insta-lovey, or just, especially in summer books, it can really go far-fetched because it's like, these beautiful girls do this thing and she's so awkward and she'll never live up to this, and it's just, it gets cliche and then unrealistic. This stayed pretty original, and however toward the end I feel like the conflicts got a little bit petty. We have an awesome love interest person, his name is Noah, and he's her supervisor at her job, and so he has a really awesome backstory where he is kind of like a broken family. I thought the conflict would kind of build on that, but nothing really centered around that, and our actual end climax was kind of random. I just wish that more family issues could have been touched on in this book, because the majority of the conflict is between friends and love interest, and I just wish that family could have played a bigger role in that, because I did like Lex's family members. I think it was really interesting because her grandma lives with her and her grandma has Alzheimer's, so you kind of got to see that progress, and then also her little sister and her mom do pageants and you got to see some of that, and it was so cool. All of that occurred in this book, but none of it was like the main focus, so I wish we could have just gotten a little bit more. I guess what I'm trying to say is I wish all of that would have gone together more. Like, it seemed like a bunch of different stories within one, and I wish that there was some sort of conflict that drew them all in. This is like a random side note. I have no idea where to put this, so I have it in with all my plot notes. In every single book I've read, other than like The Fault in Our Stars, if any two people are having a text conversation, everything is in chat speak, and like that grinds my gears because I never use chat speak. I mean, I use it all the time, but usually when I do it, I'm being sarcastic or I'm like, a LOL. But in a lot of books, it'll just be like, LOL, what are you doing? And it's like just all this crazy things that no one would abbreviate, but they just do it to emphasize it's in a text message. But in this book, anytime people text each other, it's like realistic, actual sentences with very little chat speak, and This is one of the only books that does that, and that's so much more realistic than chat speak, I think, so hallelujah, Vivi Barnes. I really enjoyed the characters in this book, mostly just because they weren't cheesy or lame. They're not necessarily rememberable, and I wasn't like crying over how beautiful they were, but I definitely enjoyed hearing them and their thoughts. Lex, as our main character, I felt like sometimes she got a little bit critical and mean. She was very spiteful. I understood it the first couple times because she was just getting this job that she didn't want, but there were just times when she would say something to Noah that was just totally uncalled for, and I was like, calm down. But the thing about Lex is even when she was being annoying, it was still a realistic emotion. Like, I understood where all her feelings were coming from. She was never absurd. Like, a lot of characters in contemporary, I just cannot relate to them because I'm like, you are overreacting and you're so annoying. But I never felt like that toward Lex. I really respected her as a main character because I understood her. As far as Noah and Lex's relationship, I wouldn't say that it was insta-lovey. I would say rather it was a little bit shallow. For the first time that Lex meets Noah, it is a little bit stereotypical where she's like, that beautiful boy. And in the beginning, every time she looked at him, she'd be like, oh, he's so beautiful. Then they become friends, then they become more than friends, but as that was occurring, I just couldn't help but think, it seems like there was really nothing to the relationship other than the fact that she thought he was pretty, beautiful, hot. I just really didn't feel very much emotional connection between them other than the fact that every time she looked at him, she was like, those blue eyes. Overall, at the ending of this book, I mentioned the climax earlier, but I just wished that we got a better, cohesive wrap-up to this story. We had several loose ends. I'm totally satisfied with how it closed, but they were like I was saying, there's a lot of backstories and like separate like pageants and her grandma and Noah's abusive dad. They were just little things like that where we didn't get any clarity on what direction that was going. Especially her grandma's illness and Noah's dad. I wanted to know what happened to them. I'm assuming this is a standalone, but I would really have liked to know how some of those side stories went. And otherwise, that's about all I feel about this book. I actually really enjoyed it. I think it's a very solid contemporary for these coming summer months. I believe this book is already out, so if this sounds like something you'd be interested in, like I said, if you work around people and think this would sound like something you would enjoy, you might want to try it out this summer. So thank you all for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed this review, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye!